component and a temporal component. And regardless of whether it comes from your eyes or from the tongue, this area of the brain is best suited for that type of processing.
The experience of the newfound visual information from the BrainPort vision device was revelatory to the users.
One person said they felt like a kid at a candy store. One person described it as sitting in the back seat of a car on a vacation, looking out the window, and just looking out for the pure pleasure of seeing what passes by. Things that people who have sight take for granted.
Our powerful brain plasticity gives us control to maintain the skills that we have and even regain some we've lost. These skills are the key to maintaining our independence. To live our lives to the fullest, under our own control, is the goal of every older person. We can achieve this by following the 5 keys of independent aging. Key number 1, keep what you have. By keeping what you have, you take stock in the skills and abilities that you've taken a lifetime to master. And then you strive to keep yourself physically in a position where you can continue to learn and engage yourself in positive plastic brain change.
Impairments of vision are one of the most feared consequences of aging, because when you lose your vision, you often lose your independence, and it's rather daunting to ask ourselves, what will we do if we lose our independence? And so maintaining good health is paramount to maintaining good vision.
It's clear that both diet and exercise play a big role in keeping the brain sharp as you get older.
Maintaining your physical health also means taking some simple precautions to protect your senses.
Sunglasses are very important. Most people are familiar with the effects of too much sunshine on your skin and how it may accelerate aging. I believe the same thing occurs within the eye. And we have some evidence for that. The shortwave sensitive cones had a reduction in sensitivity compared to the eye with less ultraviolet exposure. 5 years of additional exposure to ultraviolet light in this form, on average, produced the equivalent of about 30 years of normal aging.
Key number 2, be socially active.
The idea of having an impact personally and socially is extremely important to your physical health and your mental well-being. So continue to learn. Engage as many people as possible. As we age, our social networks tend to be smaller. If anything, we should fight to make them larger.
We're social creatures, and operating socially demands that we have the ability to successfully interpret what's happening with the other members of our species that are communicating with us. Life is miserable when we can no longer interpret our social circumstances that are conveyed by conversation.
Key number 3, maintain focus and attention.
Engaging yourself in situations where there is a lot of information, and information that needs to be focused on, other information that needs to be ignored, pushing your cognitive abilities to the max all the time will benefit you in your everyday interactions.
I can train you to increase your field of view, but how about training yourself? How about thinking about more aggressively, trying to look at the things that are beyond the things directly in front of your gaze? And how about trying to be more engaged in the environment, in the scene in front of you as a habit? How about re-engaging your vision actively, aggressively, to reconstruct your abilities, to reinvigorate and refine your abilities to take in the details of the fabulous visual world in front of you?
Key number 4, utilize the power of positive plasticity with regards to attitude and effort, by being ready to learn and making the task strenuous enough to make a difference in your brain.
Your good behaviors have to be, on some level, purposeful and effortful. So when you make them purposeful and effortful, then the brain understands that you're serious. And that's what leads it to change.
Key number 5, don't accept decline as inevitable.
We shouldn't just accept visual losses or cognitive losses, but I believe that as science advances, that we will be able to intervene and avoid loss. And even, I think now, we can intervene and reverse loss.
When we start thinking about aging and decline, we should be aggressive about our aging. We should be aggressive about life to be able to seize the capacity we have to maintain that capacity. We always made jokes about having senior moments, that it's just a matter of getting older and being forgetful. What I'm hoping, and what I'm seeing to a certain extent with baby boomers, is that they are unwilling to go down without a fight. I think the biggest challenge for older adults as they age is to settle. And what I mean by to settle is that they assume that because they're older, they have to settle for less. Less sight, less hearing, less money, less social interaction. The new future of old age should really be based not just on expectations for better, but demanding better. Demanding from yourself, from your family, from companies, and from governments as to how to extend life, not simply to extend age.
As we've seen and heard, our senses play a critical role in the story of our lives and ourselves. Maintaining our senses keeps our brain more finely tuned. The quality of this information is critical because this is how our memories are built. And these memories are important in creating the reality we experience.
Our plasticity in how we perceive the world, our visual experience in our environment, exists at many levels. So it exists at the level of perception and our ability to identify or detect things around us. But it also exists in terms of our attention and our memory of our visual world.
I can reconstruct in my mind's eye the image of my grandmother. My grandmother died in 1973. I can move across her face. I can see her glasses when she wore glasses. I can see her in almost every detail. I can hear her voice in my mind, and I attach it to her. And you can do that. You can look back at her and you can say, that's my grandmother. Or you can look in at the details and you can move to the corner of her cheek or chin. You can see her hair. I can see her glasses. And we have this amazing ability to reconstruct our world in every detail like that in our minds. An important aspect of this is that place and time represent a sort of fabric upon which we hang our memories, in which we record information. And it's a fabulous aspect of our visual behavior and experience, also our listening, because basically we also attach our listening, what we heard happen in those moments, on that same fabric of place and time. And that is the basis, that's the primary basis of our reconstructing a model of our world. Our model is full of those reconstructions. Of course, the sum of these reconstructions is, guess what? Us. You know, it's us. It represents our history. It represents how we define ourselves. All of this information that we've stored on this rich fabric of place and time is the essence of what we understand, know, believe, what we are. It's the essence of what we are. It's a great personal treasure. It's our chest full of gold, right? And it's one of the great advantages of being older. We've loaded it, right? So it's so valuable if we can figure out how to sustain it.
Who we are, maintaining that sense of who we are, is what brain fitness is all about. Fine-tuning our auditory processing keeps us more aware, more able to interact socially, and more capable of capturing valuable information. Enhancing our visual processing expands our view of the world, keeps us engaged, alive, and vital. The sum of our senses come together in these full-color, wide-screen memories that become our history. They form the rich tapestry of our lives. Holding on and expanding this as we age is our greatest treasure and the ultimate goal of brain fitness.